Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Jaya Sri Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Trinadapi Sunichena Tarar Api Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kalo Nastyeva Nastyeva Gatir Anyatha. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Before I begin, I'd like to offer my respects to all the Vaishnavas who are here, and will you bless me that I will do a proper service. Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanang pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I'm going to speak to you a prayer that the great devotee Prahlad offered to Lord Nrsimha. As was announced, yesterday was his Divine Appearance Day anniversary. Nrsimhadev, the narration is there in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. 10 chapters dedicated to the whole story of Nrsimhadev. His father, Prahlad's father, Hiranyakashipu, was the Adi demon, the original, first demon in the universe. And he was most powerful. In fact, by his severe austerity, he caused not global warming, universal warming by his austerities. And he got benedicted by Lord Brahma, the creator. And by his austerities, he actually defeated Lord Brahma and got so many benedictions except the one he originally asked for, immortality. Yes, we are by nature immortal, but not this body. So he wanted to become immortal. And Lord Brahma said, how can I give you something I don't have? So then Hiranyakashipu did a whole series. I want this, I want this, I want this. He thought he had everything covered. Ironclad contract. And in this way, benediction after benediction given by Brahma, Hiranyakashipu thought, practically I am immortal. And immediately he started a reign of terror, turning the whole universe topsy-turvy. There is a plan, there is a design, there is an order to this universe. Hiranyakashipu, you could say the original agitator, wanted to change everything upside down. And there he was. Everyone was kowtowing to Hiranyakashipu except Lord Vishnu, except Lord Brahma, and of course, Mahadev Shiva. Everybody else, yes, Hiranyakashipu, oh, you are most wonderful. Narada, who's telling the story to Yudhishthira in the 7th canto, admits he also had to play the game. Hiranyakashipu now was practically the most important, most powerful person in the universe. And he was sitting on the throne of Indra, because Indra is king of heaven. And all the demigods got kicked out of their positions. And Hiranyakashipu was always, his eyes were always bloodshot from drinking liquor. And he had everything at his disposal. He had all mystic powers, but he was not happy. And the lesson we learned there, no amount of material happiness can satisfy you. Why? Because your spirit, and you will only be really fully nourished, pushti, is when you are dovetailed in the service of Krishna. And that's where Prahlad comes in. For although Hiranyakashipu was the king of the whole universe, and he had 4 sons, the youngest one, Prahlad, was not like his old man. He was a devotee, like you. I can say you are all devotees, because if you are not a devotee, you could not tolerate sitting there for more than a minute. You would get up and leave. So the fact that you're staying, you are devotees. That's why I offered you my respects in the beginning. I must see you as devotees. So Prahlad was not just a devotee. He was special, Mahabhagavat. And he learned the science of self-realization in the womb of his mother. So when he came out of the womb, he was a perfectly self-realized, saintly person. Mild. There's a description in the Gita 26 qualities are given. In the Nectar of Devotion, there is a description also in Chaitanya, 26 qualities of a devotee. Prahlad was exemplary. But him and his father, they did not agree. His father wanted Prahlad to become like him, a demon, expert at exploiting women and material sense gratification and using diplomacy, using anything and everything to get what you want. No bars, nothing holding you back. I want it, I must have it, hook or by crook. That's a demon. But Prahlad, even though he was in a specialized school, the Asura college, you could say, the university of demoniac mentality, he was not getting anything. And when his father asked him, Prahlad, tell me what you are learning in school, Prahlad said, nothing. As far as I'm concerned, and he said to his father, O best of the demons. He was not afraid. He said, the best thing I learned was from my spiritual master, Narada Muni. And he taught me, where are my kartals? I love this part whenever I get to sing. This is what Prahlad said to his father. Shravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasya Re Pujana Sakijana Atmanivedana. Yes, my dear father, the 9 processes of bhakti, this is the topmost education. And the whole purpose of this bhakti is to reunite in a loving service relationship, and he used the word Vishnu. And that was the key, because his father Hiranyakashipu hated Vishnu, because Vishnu killed his younger brother Hiranyaksha in the form of a boar. So he vowed at the funeral ceremony, I will revenge my brother's death by killing Lord Vishnu. But Lord Vishnu was more intelligent. He thought, wherever I go, this idiot's going to be following me. Where will I go where he won't find me? I'll enter his heart. He'll never find me there. Because a demon doesn't believe God exists in the heart. You are devotees. You know Krishna lives in your heart, yes? Nobody doubts that. That's one of the first things you learn in Bhagavad Gita and from Prabhupada. Krishna is in our hearts. So Hiranyakashipu looked everywhere, searching, and he couldn't find Lord Vishnu. So he said, he must have died. But he hated him still. So when Prahlad said, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, threw him off his lap. You are now my enemy. You must be killed. 5-year-old son. See how demoniac this Hiranyakashipu is. The boy is only 5 years old. And you want him killed because he disagrees with you? Such a cruel-hearted person. So, Prahlad was tortured. Yes, as I said, there's even one chapter. Hiranyakashipu terrorizes the universe. So here is the original terrorist, Hiranyakashipu. So he threw Prahlad off a cliff. Nothing happened. He put Prahlad in a pit of snakes. Nothing happened. He had him tortured with spears and lances. Nothing happened. He was put into a pot of boiling oil. Nothing happened. He was placed under the feet of an elephant. The elephant took the boy with his trunk, put him on top. Pretty good, huh? So no, and then Hiranyakashipu had his Prahlad's mother, Kayadu, give him food laced with poison. Prahlad took the food, offered it to Vishnu to make prasad, ate it, poison didn't act. So finally Hiranyakashipu became so vehement. Prahlad, where do you get your powers to defy me? I'd be a good Hiranyakashipu in the play. I can identify with Hiranyakashipu. I was born a demon. It's like typecasting. Prahlad, where do you get your powers? Yes, and Prahlad, gentle, meek, mild. My father, the source of your power and strength is the same as mine. God. God? Oh, Prahlad, there is no God. Here is your father. I am your God. Bow down and worship me. And Prahlad said, no, you are not God. That takes courage. He said, you are not God. So Hiranyakashipu laughed. Oh, Prahlad, where is your God? And Prahlad said, my God is everywhere. Oh, Prahlad, your God is, this is too much. Okay, Prahlad, if your God is everywhere, is he in this pillar? And Prahlad said, of course. So when Prahlad said that, the Lord said, I must keep true the word of my devotee. So Hiranyakashipu took his, sometimes it says club, sometimes it says sword, in his fist. And he said, see, Prahlad, I will kill your God. So he struck the column, but then he heard this tremendous sound. Ah! A sound he had never heard before. And it was, where is it coming from? And then the Lord appeared. There he is. There is Lord Nrsimha. And he was angry. He had the head of a lion, arms of a human, Narahari, half man, half lion. And he was going to, and Hiranyakashipu, okay, he's meant for me. So Hiranyakashipu was trying to fight with the Lord, and the Lord was playing with him like a snake plays with a mouse. Swallows, lets it go. Swallows, lets it go. Swallows. So Nrsimhadev was capturing and letting him go. And Hiranyakashipu, because of his mystic powers, could appear here, then there. But Nrsimhadev was no problem for him. And he was waiting for the sunset, dusk, because he had to keep all the benedictions that Brahma had given. So he waited for that time, dusk. And in the foyer, not inside, not outside, placed Hiranyakashipu on his lap, not in the land or the sky or the sea, but on his lap. And then he killed him not with a weapon, with his Tavakara Kamala, his lotus-like nails. And there are many descriptions of Nrsimhadev. His nails, his fingernails, are like thunderbolts. And he took Hiranyakashipu and gouged out its intestines and placed it like a garland. And then the part I like the best, Nrsimhadev went for his heart and plucked it out and threw it on the ground. And then he tossed Hiranyakashipu off his lap. And he was roaring. He was angry. And then the soldiers, Hiranyakashipu's soldiers, came by the thousands. And Lord Nrsimha appeared with a massive form, with hundreds of arms, and again, just with his nails, zapped them, destroyed them. What a movie. That would be the movie, that scene alone, in 3D. Wow. In 3D, can you imagine? And he's still roaring. And he's sitting on the throne of Indra. So, Lord Brahma, all the demigods, they're now very grateful because Hiranyakashipu has been such a menace. He has been such a demon, a rascal. So they're now happy. But the Lord is still roaring. So Brahma comes and prays. Shiva comes and prays. Indra, all the demigods come, offer prayers. But he's still roaring. There he is, roaring. So then Brahma says to Lakshmi, well, you're his wife, do something. She goes, oh, no. I've never seen him like this. I think that's a good clue. He said, I've never seen him like this. I'm going to stay away. So then, last resort, there's the 5-year-old boy. Go ahead, do something. So there's the picture you see. Nice BBT picture. Prahlad is there with the garland. And Prahlad does dandavat, falls down like a stick, all limbs bowing down to Lord Nrsimha. And now the Lord stops roaring. Nrsimha Bhagavan ki. So the Lord places his hand on Prahlad's head. Now the 5-year-old boy stands up, and now he has Brahma Gyan, spiritual knowledge. And he spouts more than 40 prayers. And this section, this chapter, that's entitled Prahlad's Prayers to Nrsimha, these verses are so chock full of nice information. And some of them, I would say there's 4 or 5 of them, I can very, very much relate to. But with the time remaining, I want to pick one of my top 3. Do I have your permission? If not, we can do something else. I need to hear it. Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, she said please. Okay. Thank you. You get extra blessings. Evang jangnang nipatatang prabhavahi kupe kama bikaman anuya prapatan prasangat kritvatmasat surarshina bhagavan grihita sohang katham nu visraje tavabritya sevam. So here's Nrsimhadev. He's on the throne. And the 5-year-old boy is offering prayers. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant, Narada Muni, kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? So Prahlad, what Prahlad is saying is my story. I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes. You see me now, I'm on the verge of my 75th birthday. But when I was 19, I became first-class demon. I was demon by birth, but by 19, I became a pure demon, enjoying my senses, doing everything just to enjoy. But after 4 or 5 years, it became stale. I was frustrated. I can't get no satisfaction. I was miserable. But then I came in contact with Prabhupada's books. And what was the first book? Transcendental Teachings of Prahlad. So you can appreciate now why this is so dear to me. And I remember it was just a pamphlet. And I had seen other things from gurus and yogis, and I said, oh, this is all gobbledygook. It's stupid. But as soon as I read the first paragraph, I said, yes, this is what I've been looking for all my life. This was July 1972 in New York. I read page after page, and it all made sense. And I said, finally. And then at the back was a picture of Prabhupada. And he was like this. I said, yeah, that's my guru. Not one of these, no. He's serious and stern. You could just feel the power. And so since then, I'm in love with Prabhupada's books. And then I've told the story thousands of times how only 6 chapters of Prabhupada's Krishna book convinced me to join his Sankirtana army. That's all I needed. 6 chapters, close the book, let's go. Of course, it took a while. Some complications. Maya has a way of, you think you're going to go that quickly, easily? No. Throw some curveballs at you. But I made it. July 15th, 1973. Goodbye, material world. I'm joining the spiritual world. And as I've said many times, I will make the same decision life after life after life after life. My latest personal, you could say, prayer that I'm offering now, seriously, is that I ask only one thing at the time of my death, that please put me in a situation, a life, a place where every day I can hear Prabhupada's voice. If I can hear Prabhupada's voice, what do the Christians say? I'm saved. Yes, I just want forever to hear Prabhupada's singing. I love Prabhupada's singing. And I want to hear his lecture. I want to hear. And wherever, maybe if I'm blessed, Prabhupada is somewhere. I want to be there and hear him. So Prabhupada's purport to this verse, very powerful. So please, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to sit, but please try to hear the words of our spiritual master. Every morning we sing, Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Chitte Te Koriya Aikya Arna Koriho Mane Ash. The disciple only wants to hear the words from his spiritual master and does not want to have to consider anything else. So here is Prabhupada's purport to this verse. As will be seen in later verses, even though Prahlad was directly offered all the benedictions he might have desired, He refused to accept such offerings from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. On the contrary, he asked the Lord to engage him in the service of his servant Narada Muni. This is the symptom of a pure devotee. Now here it is. One should serve the spiritual master first. It is not that one should bypass the spiritual master and desire to serve the Supreme Lord. So I guess my prayer is in line. Good. This is not the principle of a Vaishnava. Narottam Das Thakur says, Tandera charana shebi bhok dashane bas janname jananme hoy ei abhilash. One should not be anxious to offer direct service to the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised that one become a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Gopi Bartu Padakamalayur Dasanudas. This is the process for approaching the Supreme Lord. The first service should be rendered to the spiritual master so that by his mercy one can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead to render service. And you see, how did Prabhupada orchestrate the morning program? First prayer, Vande Guru Sri Charanara, first prayer in the morning. Then when we meet again, after the deities have been bathed and dressed, the first prayer, Shri Guru Charana Guru, Guru, Guru. Prabhupada is teaching us by his example. The first service should be rendered to the spiritual master. While teaching Rupa Goswami, Lord Chaitanya said, Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai Bhakti Lata Bij. One can achieve the seed of devotional service by the mercy of the Guru, the spiritual master, and then by the mercy of Krishna. This is the secret of success. First, one should try to please the spiritual master, and then one should attempt to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vishwanath Chakravarti also says, Yasya prasadad bhagavat prasado. One should not attempt to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead by concoction. One must first be prepared to serve the spiritual master. And when one is qualified, he is automatically offered the platform of direct service to the Lord. Listen to that. Prabhupada is giving us the exact process. Be prepared to serve the spiritual, and then automatically you'll be offered. You don't have to worry about it. Therefore, Prahlad proposed that he engage in the service of Narada Muni. He never proposed that he engage directly in the service of the Lord. This is the right conclusion. Therefore he said, Soham katam nu visrijay tavabritya sevam. How can I give up the service of my spiritual master, who has favored me in such a way that I am now able to see you, Lord, face to face? So Prahlad prayed to the Lord that he might continue to engage in the service of his spiritual master, Narada Muni. So, I always tell the story that I asked Prabhupada, what pleases you the most? And he said, if you love Krishna. And all throughout Prabhupada's books, he's teaching us how to love Krishna. What has Prabhupada not given us that isn't sufficient. We already have everything. He has given us the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He has given us deity worship. By his potency, he has turned Malechas, Yavanas, Sudras, Asuras into Brahmanas who go and worship the Lord on the altar. He has given us, yes, the secret weapon, prasad. Yes, if there was not prasad, I'm not there. There has to be prasad. As you can see, I still have my Brahmin belly. And of course, as I mentioned, my first connection with Prabhupada was with his books. And how many times did Prabhupada tell us, even in this temple room, distribute book, distribute book, distribute book. He has given us so many ways. He wants us to preach this Krishna consciousness. In one lecture, Prabhupada, this was I think 1969, Prabhupada was speaking in such a way that he could understand he may not have any more years to live. So he gathered his disciples and he told them, I will live through you. And those disciples of Prabhupada who hear this, they take this very, very seriously. One thing I have to credit my wife, she's here somewhere up in the balcony. But so many times my wife has said, hey, knucklehead, what are you doing? That's not how a Prabhupada disciple acts. You represent Srila Prabhupada. Stop this nonsense. Yes, Mataji. But that's what it is. It's a grave responsibility. But we're dying fast. As I said, later this month I'll turn 75. How many more years? 5 maybe? 10? I doubt it. Someday all of us will be gone. Now it'll be your. Are you ready to take up? Are you ready to take up Prabhupada's mission? I hope so. I hope so. But it's different. You know, you've heard backseat drivers. You know. Wait till you're in the driver's seat. It's a whole other ball game. It's a whole different perspective. And that day is coming. Good luck. Hari Bol. My dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant, Srila Prabhupada, kindly accepted me as his disciple. That was in April of 1974, and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Yes, Prabhupada's only purpose in his movement is to make devotees, and especially preachers, because that is what is required. Preachers who will give to, like there are other prayers. I think the devotee who gave class yesterday morning spoke about this, that the yogi pursues a transcendental path, but the yogi is the only one who benefits. If I do some yoga pose, it doesn't help you. But devotees are greater than the yogis. Why? Because there are other verses by Prahlad that he understands, my Lord, I do not want to go back to Godhead alone. I want to take all the fools and rascals. That was Prabhupada. That was Prabhupada's core mission. He said, I have the clue for going back to Godhead, and I'm not going alone. And he created this movement, this international society. International. And it's growing. We say that when Prabhupada left in 1977, there were about 108 temples. Now there's over 600? Over 600. Do you think it's going to stop? No. How many Starbucks are there? So there must be more and more temples. And yes, we need little Govinda kiosks where everyone can get nice prasadam. This movement is meant to spread and grow. And Prabhupada writes in one place, if the confidential devotees do not go out and preach, who will? So, as soon as you see yourself as a preacher, immediately you become a confidential servitor of the Lord. That's what Krishna says at the end of the Gita. Throughout my years, wherever I go, people want blessings. You can get the topmost blessing by seeing yourself as a preacher. Go out and give this gift of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I didn't say it publicly, but privately, I was dedicating this class to my good friend from Santiago, Ranjit. And if you all could give him a nice blessing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Class is dismissed. Take prasadam to your full satisfaction. Hari Bol.